Well, hey Micah, David Trongale here. Thanks for sending your swing over. This analysis, as I speak, I'm going to be drawing some lines. This is the face-on view, nice stationary camera, so this should help. And before I get into the swing itself, I figured I would start with the simplest items first, which is the setup, because that does not involve a ton of thinking. Once you set up properly, the swing obviously is something that occurs after the setup. So regarding your setup, there are a few things I would change immediately. Number one, your grip, in my opinion, is too strong. And this is evident as I actually play the clip. You're going to see how close your club face gets. So this left hand right here is turned downward. It's very strong. I have a YouTube video that I made that specifically talks about how a strong grip can get the club face too closed. I'll send you that link. So that's one item right off the bat. Secondly, for an iron, I think your stance is just marginally a bit too wide. You could maybe just take your right foot, work it in 3 or 4 inches this way, and do the same thing with your left foot. Ball position is pretty good, dead center. You can maybe move it up just a smidge. And then the only other thing regarding at address that I would do would be to have this right foot not flared out as much this way. So I would try and bring it in a little bit more. But then conversely with the left foot, I would open it up a tad more. Okay, so that's quite a bit on the setup, but I just wanted to get that out of the way, and I want you to get your money's worth. So let's go into the swing itself. All right. As you take the club back, pretty good extension, and I really like the way that you are hinging your wrists. Okay. Notice that red line that's been sitting on here since the beginning of the video. The reason why I drew that is this is one of the main things to fix. You are swaying off the ball too much. And notice how the angle of your back or the spine is tilted off to the side, which is common when there's an upper body sway. Those two items go together, okay? Now the really cool thing is there's a very simple drill that you can do. It requires some repetitions, but it will fix both of these items. I'm going to attach that video separately. I'm going to shift over to it in a few moments. I just want to finish the swing itself. Your right leg is a little too straight. Okay, so try and keep that right leg flexed, and I'll talk about this drill here after we complete the downswing. I just wanted to make a couple observations. I like how you're driving your hips laterally. All good players do that. And when you're coming into impact, you have that nice forward shaft lean. That descending blow is paramount for consistency with iron striking. So some really nice stuff going on there. All right, so I'm changing the screen over. You can see Tiger Woods is on the right, you're on the left. This will be the final clip before I show you the drill. I just wanted to point this out so that you know that I'm not simply making things up. I wanted to give you a visual perspective. Look at the bill of the cap of Tiger Woods. You can see that he has maybe moved it an inch or two to the right. Once again, his right. So he is loading his weight into the right leg. But notice how upright the back or the spine is. I drew a yellow line on there. And just take note of where you're at. And then also, once again, at the very beginning of this video, I talked about the stance being a little bit more narrow. And look at where his left foot is pointed in relation to yours. So these visual perspectives help a lot. Once again, it shows what's literally happening opposed to what people think is actually going on. So it's a cool image to study. With that in mind, let's move on to the final phase where I show you the drill to achieve a turn that is going to have less of a sway. All right, so this is the drill. It looks unique and a bit radical, but I learned this from Dave Rasmussen, who is a phenomenal golf instructor. He's helped take several shots off of my own game, and he's taught players on tour. So at address, what you're going to do is simply lift the front part of your left foot off the ground. So your heel is riveted into the ground, the front of the left foot is elevated. If you get into this position, you're going to feel a flex in the left shin. And you want to maintain that feeling throughout the backswing. In reality, nobody is going to keep that left foot elevated because the left knee naturally wants to move when you swing. But watch my head, and keep in mind, I'm someone who I've always struggled with swaying off the ball. And this was after implementing this drill. We're talking in a matter of 10 practice swings, I improved to the point of this, where, this is fairly upright, a little bit of rightward movement, which is okay. I don't want you ever swinging in a stack and tilt style fashion where your weight is loaded left and you're making a reverse pivot. So you can see, though, without getting too technical as to why this works, it does involve the anatomy and the pelvis. Literally just go out and give this a whirl. Lift that foot up and hit a lot of shots like this. And if you film yourself as you have been from a stationary standpoint, you're going to see that I think you're going to mitigate that sway quite a bit. All right, so that's the drill. I hope this video has helped in some way. I look forward to your feedback on it. And then before I sign off too, one other thing, not that my swing is perfect. Once again, this is actually an old swing of mine when I was trying to make improvements, but see the grip. Go back in this video and just rewind it and look at how much farther your left hand is turned over. Notice the little logo on the golf club, you can only see part of it. Whereas a super strong grip, you would pretty much be seeing that entire logo, and then both of my thumbs are kind of going right down the grip there. So anyway, I hope that helped, and once again, thank you so much for sending your swing over, and I look forward to a follow-up or seeing how your swing improves as we move forward.